Welcome back to the VTF channel. Bulenox has dropped new payout rules. These new payout rules are part of their path to live funding, which is something that Bulenox never offered before, and quite frankly made me hesitant about them if regulations were to come into place. But now that they have this path to live funding, I think it makes them a new firm, a legit prop firm. So we'll go over Bulenox Trader Funding's rule changes, and then I'll do a full review. So if you're new to Bulenox Trader Funding, you're going to learn everything you need to know about them to know if they're the right funding option for you. All right, let's go over the change that is actually taking place within Bulenox's structure here. So after your third payout in the master account, you will be moved to a live account. Now, there are some negative aspects about this and positive. All right, so let's go over the positive here. So if regulations come, which I believe at some point they will, Bulenox will survive. Like, I think that would be a regulation that would be the major one. Like, you have to offer a live or else you're just running a Ponzi scheme. And then there's a better payout structure, which we'll go over the new payout structure for the live funded accounts after we go through what I believe is the negative aspects of this. All right, let's go over the negative here. So the negative is going to be, number one, that once you're moved into the funded account, let's say you have 3 50K accounts and they move you over to live, you are going to be combining your accounts. So if you had 2 50K accounts, you now have a 100K account. This does come with a possible positive. We'll go over that in a second though. And then the other aspect is the cap on profits. So let's head over to Bulenox's website so I can explain this a little bit more for you guys. All right, so here it is. Upon the completion of 3 successful payouts under a master account and subject to the risk management department, you'll be transitioned to a funded account and be trading with real capital. So this cap on profits, other funding companies do this. So Take Profit Trader does something similar. If you make 10K in one day, that's it. They turn your account off and you're being forced to a live account. This happened to me. I was on a roll one day, hit a runner, and right at the opening and hit 10K profit. Boom. Couldn't trade anymore. They took me out of my position. I didn't really like that, but hey, it was. So this is pretty much just saying you're a good trader and we're not going to pay you out 100% of this on our own. We want you to trade in a live account so we can do a profit split with you, a legit, normal prop firm profit split. So they're not saying that every funded account is a 5K cap. They're just saying if you make over 5K, okay, we're going to move your ass. You're too much risk for us in a simulated funded account. So if you didn't know, all the accounts that are not quote unquote said to be a real capital account are in fact a simulated funded environment where it's an account that you can still get paid out on, but you're not actually trading real capital. So if you're trading with real capital, it would work like this. They would give you the capital to trade with, and then you do a profit split on the profits, right? But they're at risk to lose whatever you may be losing in terms of money. And in a live funded account, like a real one with real capital, you're going to be quote unquote a professional trader. And that's another negative aspect about this, which I don't think they talk about this in here, but I'm sure they do somewhere. You're going to have to pay a data fee per month through CME. It's not through them, it'd be through CME. So that's all that they're saying in this, is that it's not like, oh, even in your live account, that's the most you can make. Someone was saying that. So the most I can ever make in my 50K account is 5K. No, bro. Even if you look at this, the max payout per 50K account is how much? 1,500. Well, it's 1,500 times 3 because there's 3 payouts. That's 4,500. So they leave like a $500 difference. And then they're going to move you to a funded account, a live funded account. And then this is the negative, obviously, is that I think this is a negative because it stops you from being able to make a whole bunch of money. But with their consistency rules, which we'll also go over that in the review, it doesn't, I have good days where I make 2 or 3K, but 5K is pushing a little bit in a 50K account, I think. Okay, so all active master accounts shall be consolidated into a single funded account. Any master accounts that have not been activated will remain in a pending status. I'm not sure what's up with that. will remain in a pending status. I think that's meaning like, I don't know. I'm gonna have to reach out to them on that one. I'm not sure what they mean by that. Like, are you still able to activate them and have the master's accounts? And until you reach that 5K profit, I'm gonna go ahead and DM them about that right now. So moving on here, this is the plus, right? Which is a huge plus. The request for payouts may be processed after a trader has completed at least 5 or more individual trading days. The trading day will count as completed once the market closes. So it's pretty much the payout time cuts in half with a live funded account in comparison to the normal master account. Now, this may be another negative. So some companies give you a choice, right? Would you like to move to a live funded account? They're not giving you a choice here. So it straight says if a trader does not consent to transition to a funded account, the master account shall be closed and no payout reward will be issued. Dun, dun. So that's pretty serious, right? Like, so you got to go with it. Now, they do support a large range of countries. This is new here, allowed countries. So if you live in any of these countries, moving to a live funded account might not be an option for you. And that might be for other people too, because a live funded account, you have to sign a contract with CME and it's a little bit more serious. So with this here, I wonder what they're going to do with this, because let's say you have 11 of them and you hit the 5K profit target in 11 funded accounts. And let's say they're 100K accounts. Are they going to give you 1.1 million? And then are they going to do the drawdown? Are they going to do the drawdown based off of these numbers here? Or is it like, let's say you had, are they going to combine the drawdown? So if you had a drawdown of 3,000 per 100K account, are you going to get $330,000 of drawdown? Or like a 50K example, let's say you had 11 50Ks. So are they going to move you into a 550K account and then give you the 2,500 per account? Makes me wonder, that'd be $27,000 drawdown. That would be cool. That would be dope, because it really does a lot better than having 2 of these, So it might be better to stack up a smaller account if you plan on moving to the live, and then get more drawdown that way. So that could definitely be a plus for sure. And when we look at like how their payouts work, it makes sense. So they're trying to stop what's happening to Apex. So what's happening to Apex is traders are being withheld from the maximum payout amount for 4 months. So then after the 4th month, Apex is being hit with like a boom, $1 million payouts, $2 million payouts. So Bulenox is kind of smart for doing this, because they're stopping that from happening in the sim funded accounts. So because of the way they have their payouts set up, the first through 3 payouts they have a max to them, which in a 50K account's 1,500. So what they're doing here is by the 3rd payout, you will be moved to a live funded account by the 3rd payout. And then they're not subject to that risk, because that's a huge risk for a company. Like, I don't know how Apex does it, honestly. They're paying out millions of dollars to these dudes without, getting a cut of it. So it's coming out all out of their pocket. Not many people understand that. So when you get a payout in a simulated funded account, it's not a split. It's not a profit split. It's a them paying you 90% of the profit you made. They don't keep the 10% because there was no 10% to keep. It was 10% less than 100, but they still have to pay you 90%. It's not like they still make 10% off of that. They don't make 10%. They're losing 90. All right, let's get into the review of Bulenox Trader Fund here. So Bulenox has minimum rules. That's like one of the best things about them. They have minimum rules, and their customer service is amazing. Like, they may be a little bit slow to getting back to you, but when they do, they will help you. As long as you're cool with them. I've never had them not do what I asked. Like, whether that be I got charged on accident, like I've forgotten to cancel the next upcoming subscriptions and got charged full price for 3 or 4 of them, and was like, hey, you guys are running 80% off discount. This sucks. I just paid $500-$600 out of pocket. And they'll be like, okay, we'll give you credits for that dollar amount between the difference between the funded account and the discount. I've also had that happen with companies like Apex, and I get nothing. Just, oh, too bad. Even though when it happened to me with Apex, it was a 90% off sale, so it really hurt even more. All right, so the rules are as follows. There's only one rule that will blow up your account, guys. That's it. Just one rule, which that rule is going to be do not hit your max drawdown, whether that's trailing drawdown or end of day drawdown. They do have other rules, but they're soft rules. So trade during permitted times, 6 p.m. to 4:59 p.m. Eastern, Sunday through Friday. So futures markets are open 23/6, meaning 23 hours a day, 6 days a week, Sunday through Friday. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, they're open. Saturday, they're closed. They close at 4:59 p.m. and then open back up at 6 p.m. on those days. And then their funded account rules are the same. So to get funded with them, you only have to trade for 1 day. If you hit your profit target in that day, you can get funded essentially that day. Reach your profit target, and then that's it. So just don't hit your drawdown, guys. If you put on too many contracts, it's not going to fail you. There used to be a lot of funding companies that would. So let's head back over here to look at how their basic master account. Let me talk about that, the activation fee. Guys, do not go with the large accounts. Let's go over this actually. Like, I keep seeing people buy large accounts with these companies. All right, so prop firms have an edge over you, right? And choosing the right account size, it's the difference between you passing and failing, really. So the first thing to look at is when you have an account, right? They say 25K, 50K, 100K, but that's not actually the account that you have, guys. Like, you don't. In reality, you're going to have an account based off the drawdown. Your drawdown is your account size, right? So you need to compare the account size, the drawdown, to the profit target, because there's some accounts that are much better than others and give you a much better chance of success. Like if we look at these two accounts here, which one would you rather trade, right? One has a profit target of 1,500 and the other one has a profit target of 20,000. But this first one has a drawdown of 1,500 and a profit target of 1,500. They're equal. This one over here has a profit target of 20,000 and an allowed drawdown of only 7,500. So they want you to make 2.6 times more profit compared to drawdown. While in here it's equal. So this account over here gives you the best chance of success. So if we have a 25K account, we really only have a $1,500 account. If we have a 50K account, we really only have a $2,500 account. 150K account, you really only have a $5,000 account because of the drawdown. So this is what I came up here, profit to drawdown ratio. Like I call it the greed trap. So I call it PTT to R. When figuring out the ratio between the drawdown and the profit target, you get the amount of edge the prop firm has over you. So the higher the account size, the less drawdown they give you in comparison. So with that being said, when we come over here and we're looking at the cost to activate these funded accounts, the high master account fee in the larger accounts should not bother you at all, because it doesn't really, you should not be going over a 50K account, because after the 50K account, the profit to drawdown ratio gets very drastic. So a 25K account, it's equal, right? $1,500 profit target, $1,500 drawdown. 50K account, there's a $500 difference between it. So you do have to make a little bit more. But when you compare the two of these and the cost of them and the drawdown, allowed drawdown, you get an extra $1,000 drawdown, but you also have to make more. But it's not too bad. I think the 50K account still is probably the best deal with the discounts. If they have a 90% off discount with the 25K accounts, I'd say go with that, but most of the time they don't. Okay, so now if we look at a 100K account compared to a 50K account, they want you to make twice as much as you would in a 50K account, but they don't give you the extra drawdown, right? They just give you extra $500 of drawdown when compared to this one here. So you're required to make twice as much, and then it gets even worse. It just gets worse and worse as we go down here. A 150K account, profit target of 9,000. Oh, but there's the drawdown. So now we only get, we have to make twice as much, right? And then a 250K account, profit target of 15K. And now we have to think almost 3x compared to our drawdown. So don't do that. Don't buy those accounts, guys. They suck. So how the payouts work in your funded account is, first off, you get to keep the first 10K in profit, which is definitely cool. And then after you withdraw that first 10K, then it's a 90-10 split. Like I said earlier, it's not actually split. It's them paying you 90% of your profits. So your payouts can be requested anytime during the calendar month, and all payouts are processed once a week on Wednesdays. But you do have to trade for at least 10 or more individual trading days. So that would be 2 weeks. Each trading day, each week has 5 trading days. 10 of them equals 2 weeks, not counting the weekends, of course. So there is a minimum withdrawal of at least $1,000 for the 10K account. It's 500, and then they have a max payout amount for the first 3 payouts only. So that's why we talk about them saving themselves what Apex is having to go through, and which is good for the company because long term it's more sustainable. What Apex is doing right now is not sustainable. It's not. We've seen in the past that they had to deny thousands of payouts because of this, and I just got an email from them actually explaining pretty much that they're going to be denying more payouts, pretty much just letting us know ahead of time. And then after your third payout, there's no maximum withdrawal limit. So you do have to keep a buffer in your account, which is good because it just makes sense, right? You don't want to be withdrawing below the buffer. So you have to make, like, let's say you want to withdraw. Your first withdrawals have to be in a 50K account. You're going to have to make $1,500 profit, right? And then you're going to have to make plus $2,600. So you can't get your first withdrawal until you have $4,100 of profit. So I think this may also be where the cap comes in to play. Because if we do the math on that, I think what they're saying there, cap not on profits, but a cap on the total amount that of profit that you can have in your account at any given time. So they're saying like you can only max have a 5K of profit in your account. And then when you take a withdrawal of 1,500, it will go back down, right? So let's say you had made 4,500, you're $500 away from the cap, and then you withdraw 1,500. You now can essentially make another 2,000 before you meet the cap. I think that's what they're talking about there. I'm gonna ask for a little bit of clarification on that as well. So my least favorite rule about Take Profit Trader, or not Take Bulenox here, is their consistency rules in their funded accounts. So to me, a consistency rule is by far the worst rule that a prop firm can put on you. There's only one prop firm that doesn't do this, guys. In all the prop firms out there, there's only one. And there's also only one prop firm that has never changed their rules in relation to it being negative for the trader, which is Take Profit Trader. That's why my favorite prop firm, why I think you should really use them if you are a trader that's already getting payouts. If you're not getting payouts, you should stick with Bulenox, in my opinion. So there's a 40% consistency rule, which is just saying your biggest profit day cannot be more than 40% of your total balance, right? So 40% is quite a bit. So you had a balance of 10K, you couldn't make more than 4K in a day. But I don't like this rule because it's very limiting and it does mess with a lot of people's head. I just trade for longer if I'm over that amount, but I could definitely see how it could mess with your head if you were needing that payout, if it was your first payout or something. But is it beatable? Yes, you just chill out and you don't try to make as much as you can. You just hit a couple trades a day. You have 10 trading days no matter what. So if you do the math on that, guys, it's not very much money per day. If you're trying to make 1,500 divided by 10, it's $150 a day, guys. Like, that's literally like 1 or 2 winning trades and you're done. Or 1 winning trade, really, and you're done for the day. And like I said earlier, that's it. That's all the rules they have, guys. There isn't anything else in that. Then we can go over the different account types that they have. So they have option 1, which is a no scaling account with a trailing drawdown. So in my opinion, with the current pricing, this is the option you want to go, guys, because you're paying $15 for a 50K account. Come on, that's amazing. But you have a trailing drawdown. I can show you guys how to beat a trailing drawdown. Actually, I already have videos on here if you look through my videos. I will also put it at the end of this video, so you guys can click on that to check that out, how to beat the trailing drawdown. And it's a lot less rules than this one. So this one has more to worry about, like, which is trailing you based on the end of day. And then you have the daily loss limit. That's a trailing drawdown anyways. The only difference is when you hit the trailing drawdown daily loss limit, you don't blow the account. But you have scaling account. You can only use 2 contracts, which is plenty. You really don't need over that anyways, but it's still just annoying. And then the daily loss limit is a trailing drawdown, so which is $1,100. But and then once you get in the funded account, the daily loss limit will be removed once you reach the starting balance. And same thing with the trailing drawdown. It stops after your starting balance. So that's why I don't think it's a big deal. A lot of people are really worried about trailing drawdown, but it's really not, because it stops at your starting balance. So you really only have to worry about it when your balance all-time new high. And then on top of that, you only have to deal with it when your account bounces all-time new high, which isn't all that often. And we can talk about commissions. I know a lot of people ask about that. I always forget to mention it. Just because it's not in the funding space, it's really not a big deal. In the future space, because it's really low in comparison to the amount of leverage you're getting. So it's minuscule. So with ES and NQ, all-in rates, which I believe that is per turn buy and sell, it's $1.40 per ES and NQ. The highest one is going to be gold, which is $1.60, which isn't much. And that's with the Project X platform. And then with the Rhythmic platform, it's actually more expensive. It's about $2 per trade. So to buy and sell, you enter and exit, it's $4 commission, which, because it's a funding account, it doesn't really matter anyways, right? It just comes out of your P&L at the end of the day. That's it. That's the best way to look at it. So Bulenox is for everybody, obviously, but really for new traders. Why? Because it's going to save you so much in terms of evaluation fees. Every trader that has gotten funded and is getting payouts knows that there is a tuition, if you will, like an education to pay, which is going to be costed in failed evaluations. If we start doing some math here and we're comparing the two of these, let's say with Bulenox you're paying $15 and you wait for 90% off sales, 80% off sales, and let's say it takes you 50 evaluations to learn how to do this, which is about normal. So you're looking at 50 times 50 equals a total cost of $750 to learn how to do this, to be able to make money forever. It's really minimal in the big picture, but it does make a big difference, because if you're like choosing another account, like let's say you go with Take Profit Trader or Top Step or whatever, like we just say on average you're looking at $50 to $100. We'll just say $50 times 50 equals $2,500. So minus 750. How much money you're going to save to learn? You're going to save $1,700, guys. So that's why I think that for new traders, there's no better option. You should not be demo trading if you're new. If you're new, you should be going with Bulenox and paying the $15 and having something at risk and having to follow a set of rules. Demo trading is stupid. It is pointless. There is no point to it. You're not going to learn how to become a better trader by demo trading, period. Period. I don't even think testing you should be demo trading. I don't think there's any aspect of trading where you should be doing it pretend. That's just, trading is a risk-on endeavor. It is not a pretend endeavor. It is not anything. You should not be learning from people that demo trade. You should not be doing anything in a demo trading space, period. If you want to test a strategy, do it with the Bulenox account. Pay up to $15. Have something at risk, so you're learning how to deal with risk at that same time. Trading is risk. It's a risk-on aspect. Without the risk, it is pretend. There's no stress. There's nothing to gain or lose. It is not the same. You just can't compare trading with money on the line versus not. They're not the same. They don't exist on the same plane at any point. For some reason, it's became like acceptable to teach under demo and do all these other things under demo, but it used to not be like this. I think eventually everyone will come to their senses that, okay, this isn't right. And this isn't helping me. I don't want to learn how to demo trade. I want to learn how to really trade, and I need to learn how to trade risk on and deal with these emotions, deal with these different aspects that come with it, which is a lot. I often compare it to like dry firing a gun with a bullet. The risk is the bullet. If you're to pull the trigger on a gun and you say bang and act like it has a kickback, you can't pretend to hit a target and become better shooter without the bullet in the gun. If you're just pulling the trigger and saying bang and acting like the target's hit, that doesn't equate to you like going to a range with a live bullet in your gun and pulling the trigger and expecting to hit the target. You're not going to, because that loud noise that happens when the gunpowder goes off, and then the kickback that happens in your shoulder, that's like the risk on part of trading. You must have that to to learn, right? So who do I think Bulenox is not for? And that is going to be traders already getting payouts. So if you've gotten 2 or more payouts, it's probably time to step away from them, and you can still keep your accounts, still trade them, but I wouldn't like try to stack any more accounts. If I was you, I would head over to Take Profit Trader. By far the best prop firm. They're the only prop firm that doesn't have consistency rules, payouts from day one. You can really run up an account and get money. Like, there's a lot of members in my Discord making over 10K per day with Take Profit Trader. Sometimes it makes me wonder like how they're still in the fucking business, because we're just raping them so hard. I on average get 1,500 to 2K a day from them, and several traders I know are doing the same. So they're by far the best prop firm. They never change the rules against traders. Anytime they make a rule change, it is for traders. They don't have a consistency rule. Yes, they put trailing drawdown in the funded account, blah, blah. I know you guys are so concerned about that, but you're only concerned about that because you're not making money yet. There's no trader that's getting payouts right now that complains about it. I guarantee that. Because they're getting their payouts from day one. They're taking daily payouts. At the end of the day, they're taking their profits off the table. They're withdrawing them into their account. So to deal with the trailing drawdown, that stops at the starting balance anyways. So once you make $2,000, it goes away. You make, in a 50K account, if you're at $52,000 in your funded account, you no longer have to worry about the trailing drawdown. It's gone. So there's no reason for you to be concerned about it. It's not that hard to make 2K in a funded account, especially one without consistency rules. There's no scaling rules. There's no rules other than that. Like, there is no rules, guys. Like, the only other rule is you have to wait 1 minute before and after red news events, which are high impact news events, which you should be doing that anyways. Other than that, there's nothing. There's no scaling, no consistency, no dollar cost averaging, no nothing. Just you're either funded and eligible for a payout. There is no like you could be denied for a payout. No, you can't be. Like, you're either able to withdraw the money or you're not. It's not like you make the money, then you have to wait to see if you're going to get the payout. It's not like that with them. You either have the ability to withdraw the money or you don't. Period. That's why someone said, "Oh, I got denied by Take Profit Trader." I said, "Hold up, you mean you had the money in the account, and then while the payout was going through, you traded and you lost the money, huh?" And he's like, "Well, yeah." And I'm like, "Well, you didn't get it denied. You just didn't have the profits available to withdraw anymore." So that's who I think that this is for, guys. Like, there's other companies as well, but I think Bulenox and Take Profit Trader are probably the best 2 options in terms of like a real prop firm and a I wouldn't say discount prop firm, but a prop firm that has a little bit more rules, but and you're limited on your max funding account, but you're paying $15 versus $100, so per evaluation, big difference. Okay, guys, so I have a Discord here. So it's Market Masters Discord, and I stream live just about every single day. You can learn how to beat the prop firms. We have a very active community. So you check it out, guys. You can join for free, right? And you can join the free stream that happens every Tuesday. So you can join the Discord for free. Then you can join the free stream that happens every Tuesday. And for an hour and a half, I'm an open book. You can ask me any question you want in the chat. So you guys have no excuse not to join. You can find the link to the Discord in the description. Also, make sure to check out my website, verifiedfundingcompanies.com, the best discounts in the game for traders with real companies that I verify and trust 100%, and that's why I guarantee their payouts. So make sure you check out my website, hit up the Discord, guys, and I'll see you guys there. Peace out.